Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the front line with Joe and Joe Pasillo and Joe Rossinello. And once more, let us go in to the breach. So, Joe, amongst all the people, like if I had a top 5 that I want to see in an orange jumpsuit, okay, I don't even want to see Hunter so much in an orange jumpsuit as I want to see Joe Biden in an orange jumpsuit because he's the instigator of all of this. Okay, he's Don Corleone. Hunter's just Fredo. You know what I mean? Trying to trade on his father's name. Hillary Clinton, I want to see her in an orange jumpsuit more than I want, beyond belief. Okay, but I'll tell you, the guy who I think is taking the #1 spot is Fauci. If you look and all the crap that's coming out about what he did to the American people and now how he profited from it, let's listen to RFK Jr. It's only about a minute because I want your comments on this, Joe. This is RFK with Tucker.
Congress held hearings. 300 scientists wrote President Obama and said, you've got to shut down Anthony Fauci because he's going to create a microbe that will cause a global pandemic. And so Obama signed a moratorium that shut down the 18 worst of Anthony Fauci's experiments, where most of them were taking place in Galveston and in North Carolina by a scientist called Ralph Barrick down there. And instead of obeying that law, Anthony Fauci shifted a lot of his operations offshore. And those operations ended up, most of them in the Wuhan lab, which is a military lab, and that the Chinese run, the People's Liberation Army. And then a lot of them went to the Ukraine. So a lot of that science now, and it's funded, Fauci was funding lots of it. But then the other government agencies began to get confidence in, their ability to get away with it. And most of it is being funded by the Department of Defense.
Most of it's being funded by the Department of Defense. Now, there's so much to unpack there, okay? But here's the thing. What he just said, #1 is going to get banned. So we already know that this videos can only stay up probably on Twitter and on Rumble, okay? Because the other two outfits are going to probably take it down because they take down everything this guy says. Do you think that they want to hear that Anthony Fauci moved his operations to the Ukraine? Now, people have been saying this for a while. Oh, you're a tin hat conspiracy theorist. No, one of the reasons why they wanted to go into the Ukraine with the military and give them military support was to protect those labs. So Fauci's basically being cold busted by RFK Jr. And honestly, Joe, Fauci has been getting away with, I think you could say, literal murder because he is like the villain in a Bond movie. He's the guy who creates the virus that's going to kill a lot of people so then he could benefit from the company that's going to provide the drug that's supposedly going to cure the people. And there's evidence now that we know that Fauci has received a lot of money from the pharmaceutical companies, and more is going to come out. Joe, the guy belongs in jail, and RFK Jr., I think, is implying that.
A lot of points to cover. I saw the whole interview. Whether you like RFK or not, he's detailed. He's not dumb. If you listen to this interview, he talks about the Ukraine. He talks about the pandemic with Fauci. He talks about foreign policy in incredible detail, granular, and it's difficult to refute. And he says, everything I say can be fact-checked. They will write him off as a nut. The media will, and they're doing that. That's point 1. Point 2, he is also dangerous to the establishment. Like him or not, he is a danger. Just like Donald Trump is a danger. He's just a Democrat who is a danger. A real Democrat who is a danger, like him or not. And they're not going to have it either. They won't debate him. They call him names. They gaslight him because he's a danger to the establishment, the power base. The Democrats, this guy, just like Howard Schultz, he is a Democrat.
Yo, can I throw a strategy out to you?
Sure.
I mean, if the things that RFK Jr. says that he's passionate about, okay, all of it, going back to the assassination of his uncle, his father, all the crap that he's said for years that the CIA has been covering up, right? The CIA obviously would have the ability to go in and expose these foreign operations, let's say, and expose people like Dr. Fauci. You want a great strategy? If he's that passionate about it and he wants to be in a position to do something about it, you made a good point, okay? That Donald Trump will be smart to make him the head of the CIA, okay? Because he'll actually do something to reform that agency, if not totally remake it, okay? Destroy it and then remake it into something else, a real intelligence agency, okay? He would be able to do that. RFK should go into a back room. Yeah, a back room, just like the Democrats do. And RFK says, I will run as a third party candidate, which will make you president of the United States. You have to appoint me CIA director. I think it would be brilliant.
Well, I'll tell you what, the RFK variable in this election is going to be very interesting. It could be even more interesting than the Donald Trump variable. Because if he starts to win, we talked about this yesterday offline. If he starts to win states, you see, they're going to try to discount him. They're not going to give him airtime, the mainstream media outlets. They're going to try to do everything they can to not get him on the ballot. But if he starts winning states, they're going to have to deal with him like they had to deal with Bernie Sanders and Hillary. That was a distraction for Hillary Clinton. It pushed her further left, and some say that's why she lost the election. But I'll tell you what, unlike Bernie Sanders, I don't know if he's going to go away quietly.
No, not this guy.
He has.
Love him or hate him, you got to respect him.
No,
absolutely. Obviously, he's a fighter.
I do. Like I said, I'm not voting for him, but as a human being, I respect him. He has an axe to grind. And he isn't going to go away. And that variable should scare them maybe more than Donald Trump. Because if he is in it, Joe Biden's toast. If he even takes 6% of the Democratic vote, 6,
right,
they lost.
Yeah.
And that is a fact. Then he gets killed too, along with Donald Trump. Because I'll be honest with you, I have zero faith in America anymore. Barack Obama said that in a speech at Stanford University. Look it up. He said, when people no longer have faith in the nation, it's over. Well, Barack Obama, guess what? Your machine created the very thing you talked about, and it is over.
Right. The third term of Barack Obama, also known as the Biden administration, is doing a wonderful job at wrecking America. And I think that that's demonstrable. Thank you for joining us here at the front line with Joe and Joe Pasillo and Joe Rossinello. Stick around for more great content. Are you tired of doing business with companies who don't share or support your beliefs? Then you need to switch from your current phone company to Charity Mobile. Charity Mobile is the pro-life phone company. 5% of your monthly plan goes to support the pro-life, pro-family charity of your choice. There are no contracts, and Charity Mobile makes it very easy to switch. Act now, because for a limited time, new customers who mention the offer code Joe and Joe get a free phone with free activation and free shipping. Chat with us online at CharityMobile.com or call us at 877-474-3662.